Okay, so I hope that all of you have done it. Yes. Okay, so can I have a confirmation once again? Is my audio, everything fine? My video, my audio, is everything in tune with your view? Please confirm on the chat box. Yes, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. So welcome all of you to 5-day WhatsApp Bootcamp. One of the best decisions what you have taken for your parenting journey. And considering the all-round development of your child, you have taken one of the best decisions. So what I want to do now is just go ahead and post the name of the city that you people are from in the chat box. Not in the group, here in the chat box. I just want all of you to post the name of the city. I want to understand what is the kind of diversity we have in this community. Just go ahead, one by one. Yes, Pune, Delhi. Go ahead. Yeah. Bhubaneswar, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Meerut, Pune. You guys are very fast. Ludhiana, Jammu, Eluru, Dubai, Karnataka, Kerala, Bangalore, Pune, Chennai again. Anybody outside India? I think I have a couple of parents from Australia, New Zealand as well. Mysore, Hyderabad, Madurai. Go ahead. Have you all finished? Okay, so what a diversity we have. That shows that we people are from different part of the world, but still the one thing common with all of us is we're all dedicated, we're all committed. We know the importance of early child development. We know parents make a huge difference for all-round development of the child. We know the theory part, but we have come here to learn something practically. So the next 5 days, we're going to be with you in highlighting and giving you the biggest insight of parenting journey. Okay. Anyway, so what I'll do now is I'm going to invite 4 participants. Okay. One from north, one from east, one from south, one from west. I'm going to give you the option of unmuting yourself. You can go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm not going to call out any names. Whoever is comfortable sharing a small introduction with me for about 20 seconds or 30 seconds, please go ahead. Okay. I just want to set the context right in terms of having some interactions. Okay, so I've given you the option to unmute yourself. I just want one participant from north. If you're from north of India or anywhere from the north of the globe, you can just unmute yourself, say hi to me. I'm going to pin your video, then we can get started. Go ahead. You're able to unmute yourself? Yeah, I've given you the option. All that you need to do is, yeah, you're raising your hands, but not required. There are about 5 to 6 hands. Just open up your audio, say hi to me. I'm going to invite you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to pin your video. Whoever wants to come. So I want somebody from north of India. Let's go in that order. Okay, north, east, south, west. Who wants to come in? You just have to say hi to me. That's it. I can hear everyone. I can hear some noise, background noise. Who's this? Is it Misty?
Yeah, Misty from Amritsar.
Misty from Amritsar, you're from north. Please open up your video, ma'am, if you're comfortable. I'm adding your video as well. I'm pinning your video. And rest of you, please stay muted. Okay, rest of you, please stay muted. And I'll be, after I finish my conversation with Mrs. Misty, we'll have somebody from east, south, and west. Okay, Mrs. Misty, what I want to do now is just give me an introduction, small introduction about yourself, your background, and your child's age, and what is that number one reason why you joined this program.
Sir, I'm a housewife. I'm from Amritsar. My child is 2 years, 2.5.
Okay.
I have a younger. He's younger than my daughter. She's 6 years of age.
Okay, you have 2 children, 6 and 2.
2 children, yes, 6 and 2. But my boy, my younger child, he's very aggressive, hyperactive. Like he doesn't want to sit for a minute.
One caution through Mrs. Misty, I want to convey every parent out there, never ever use a term called as hyperactive. Okay. The first learning what we're going to have from this session is never ever use the word called as hyperactive unless otherwise your child is being described by a doctor. Okay. You've consulted a doctor and a doctor is concluded that your child is a hyperactive child. Don't even use that word. Okay, hyperactive is a disease. Okay, so don't take it. But normally we all do that. Okay, so even I used to use the word my child is really hyper and stuff like that. He's just overly active. He's got so much of energy. Probably we have to find out ways and means by which we're going to get him engaged. Okay, but you don't have to call him. You don't have to certify him as a hyperactive child unless otherwise a doctor has already done it.
Yeah.
Are you in resonation with what I'm talking about? I'm speaking through Mrs. Misty to all the parents. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Mrs. Misty. Has your doctor certified your child as a hyperactive child? No, right?
No, when I talked to the doctor, he said yes, he is super active. He is
Yes,
energetic. His energy is not being channelized properly.
exactly, exactly. That is exactly the reason why I think most of you are here for. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, uh, he actually is very stubborn and aggressive. He goes to
Okay,
school. If he doesn't get the thing he wants, he bites the children. He hits them,
okay.
and this is now he is
He
doing
is
the
2 years. He
yeah,
is two
he's
years.
2.5 years.
Okay, he's
2.5
already going to
years.
school.
Yeah, he's going to school. He's in playway.
Okay,
So he fights with the children. He bites them. He even bites his elder sister also. And
okay,
at times, whenever say I say no to him to
okay,
anything, he also starts biting me, hitting me,
okay. Okay, so only
irrespective of
communication what he is exposed to now is biting and probably hitting others.
hitting. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
that
if
is the only way he's communicating with you. You
yeah,
have to
his
teach him a lot
demands
of
if
other
are not
vocabulary as
fulfilled,
well.
if demands are not fulfilled, if we say no to him, he starts hitting and biting.
Okay, okay. That's absolutely nothing to worry. Have you done anything on developing his socializing skills before you thought of putting him to the school?
No, sir, no.
Yeah, so that there's nothing to worry. The school is going to take its own part in playing that role. But my message to all the parents is before we contemplate of putting our children to the school, we have to make sure that we're going to teach him a little bit on socializing. Okay. There is a method. That's a separate topic all by itself. Socializing. How do you make your child socialize? Okay. So anyway, nothing to worry. Those are the kind of small issues what we all face in our parenting journey. There's only one issue what I'm referring to, but there could be a lot of many more complicated issues as well. But we got answers for every possible issues like that. Nothing to worry, Mrs. Misty. And how did you come to know about this program? Through a friend of yours or through?
I was just surfing on the Instagram and saw your
Okay.
video, so I thought to just discuss with you. Like, I have raised the daughter also, but the nature of my daughter and the nature
Okay.
of the boy is totally different. It's like being very tough to handle him at times. Like, he's not ready to sit for a
boys
minute also.
boys boys are like that. You're able to handle your husband well. Congratulations. Boys are a
Yeah,
little bit,
that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Not that, I mean, I don't have anything. I have two
Yeah.
children. I have a daughter, I have a son, and somewhere down the way we all feel that daughter is really goody and son is a little bit, yeah. That's how you need to deal. I mean, the one thing what has happened is maybe for the last 1.5 2 years, because of the pandemic and corona, we have not even let our children go out and let them have a free play, not even for 15-20 minutes. They've not been even exposed to sunlight. How many of you accept with me on this? Please type S in the chat box. So the end result is they don't know. I mean, they're still getting used to how they're going to see so many faces and how do you gel with them. So probably we should have done a little bit of socializing aspect before we think of putting them to the school, but nothing to worry. So I mean, whatever might be the issue you people have in these 5 days, you'll be finding out a solution. That's my guarantee. Okay. Congratulations, Mrs. Misty, on your decision to get into this boot camp. And we're going to be
Thank you.
associated with you for another probably another 5 more days and maybe beyond. Parenting is not a 5-day journey, it is a lifetime commitment. And let's see what best we can do in the next 5 days. Okay. Yeah,
Thank
so
you,
I'm
sir.
done with Mrs. Misty. And can I have somebody from East? Anybody around from the East, please unmute yourself, say hi to me. I'm going to pin your video and we can get started. Anybody from the East? Who is comfortable with the video, I would suggest them to just say hi to me. I can see a lot of hands being raised, but you can just say hi to me. I'm going to and tell me your name. I'm going to pin your video. Who is ready? Go ahead. Anybody from East?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Mrs. Neha Yadav, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm pinning your video, ma'am. Please open up your video.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead.
Sir, actually, I'm from the state of Jharkhand.
Okay.
And my son has been diagnosed with ASD.
Okay.
He's now going to be 4 this November. And he has not yet developed his speech. And sir, as you rightly said, I too agree I too agree, sir, that because of the pandemic, we had locked our children at our homes from the fear. You know that COVID is like that, COVID and all. But sir, actually, I have I got to see the circumstances that my child is lacking that development in speech. He is lacking socialization, and अभी तक sir उसका school में कहीं पे admission नहीं करा पाई हूँ मैं. He is now getting occupational therapy, speech therapy, and special education therapy. Yes, sir.
Okay, he is going through the occupational therapy. There is a doctor who's taking care of it. And
Yes.
nothing to worry, ma'am. Maybe it's a marginal ASD. I mean, they all can be worked. Take your support of your doctor. Listen to whatever the doctors have to say in hand. But more than what doctors are going to do, ultimately, we have many parents who are facing a scenario situation like this, and they're also part of our program.
Sir,
the idea is very simple. Yeah.
Sir, actually, I'm a working mother. I'm working as a teacher in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya.
Okay.
And I have recently joined, and as a result, I have to stay away from him because I'm posted in Srinagar right now. So due to harsh climatic conditions and due to that all militant activities, I'm unable to keep my son with me. That's why, sir, I face a lot of problem that my son is away from me, and my sister and my mother takes care of him. So they have actually done that toilet training. Sir, wo bhi nahi tha. Means he was just totally blank, and a year ago, just I was in dilemma where to start, how to go, because at a very tender age, I became a mother to a young boy, and means, sir, I was totally in a mess a year ago, and through Instagram, I came to know about your program, and so I thought that I should join this program just to enhance, how parenting can be done. I'll get knowledge about it. So, sir, please guide us. Please guide us. Sir.
Definitely, ma'am. I can really understand your concern. I'm there with you. Nothing to worry. There are many, many parents around here. I mean, the people who are part of our community as well. This is one of the common issues what we're all facing. We are busy. We are working. So most of us are working because of maybe our profession or financial constraints and stuff like that. But we also know the importance of child development. But I can guarantee you one thing, your child doesn't require you 24/7. Of course, if you're there around with your child, that's a real big thing. I mean, you have to take a decision how you want to do with your profession. But at least make sure that your sister and your mother who's taking care of the child, and they are also aware of few techniques. And before they coming to know and they're coming to terms with understanding the concept, I want you to understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, once you understand the why part of it, I'm going to be making it very clear why is going to be your criteria in these kind of boot camps. Okay. So anyway, nothing to worry. For all those parents who are already been diagnosed with an ADHD or maybe the delayed development and stuff like that, go to the doctors, take their intervention is very much required in terms of physiotherapy and stuff like that. There are a lot of other speech therapy and stuff like that. But as a parent, how you are engaging yourself with the child. Maybe you have a caretaker, or might be you have probably a mother, father, somebody else, maybe grandparents taking care of your children. But how effectively they are making use of their quality time is the question. As long as you can do that, nothing to worry. You can always make sure that whatever drawbacks we all have our own drawbacks and our own negatives, but how we can compensate it and come over it, that's where your role as a parenting is required. Okay. You might not be engaging with them from morning to evening, but with whatever little bit time you have, what best you can do, that is exactly what we're going to be learning in these 5 days. Congratulations once again. So from Northeast, I'm going to come down to South. Anybody from South? I'm from South. I'm from Bangalore.
Hello? Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
I have 2 participants, you decide. I mean, I don't want to call out names.
Hello.
Anybody. Yeah.
Hello.
Namrata,
Please
I'm
go
from
ahead.
Bangalore.
Hello.
Yes. Madhumita, is it Madhumita?
Namrata,
Yes, sir, I'm Madhurima.
Madhurima, Namrata. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to pick a lottery now. Madhurima,
I'm
please
from
unmute
Veluru.
yourself.
Okay.
Namrata,
Hi,
nothing
sir.
to worry. We're going to be interacting a lot in the next 5 days.
sir, I just wanted to know, I'm a pregnant mother. I
Wonderful.
don't have my child with me yet. So I just wanted to know that this program is going to be for the active children or for the existing parents or the mother to be also.
Nothing to worry. I'm going to call you out again after I finish South and West. In fact, my intention is to come up with a conversation with a newborn baby. Okay. So we have a program called as In the Womb. I'll come to that. Namrata, please hang on. I'm going to call out your name itself after I finish North, South, East, West. Be ready. I'm going to talk to you.
Sure.
Yeah, Madhurima, please go ahead.
Hello, hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm pinning your video now.
Actually, I'm traveling. This is my baby. He's Krishna Vrinda.
Wonderful. You're from where?
We are coming from a speech therapy class. Actually, she is diagnosed with some speech delay. Only speech delay. The doctors and all told that there are no symptoms of ASD or ADHD. She's completely fine. Just due to as you told us, because of the COVID and all, there is some speech delay only. By God's will, there is only speech delay. She picked a lot. We started speech therapy about 3 months ago. And she really picked it well, and she knows her amma, her daddy, her grandparents. She can identify them and she can go to them.
She can come up with 2-letter, 3-letter words.
Yeah, she can come up with 2. Yeah, she can identify. If I show something in her book, she can identify them.
But can she speak? Can she speak 2-letter, 3-letter words?
Yes, sir. She can speak. She speaks dinosaur like that. If I show some animals in her book, or like she loves her fruit, she loves her books. If I want to teach her something, I have to start with the fruits books and animals books. She'll be very interested in them, and then I have to start some interesting conversation with her, and to get her into the therapy mood like that. And the only concern for my daughter is she knows amma. She knows I'm her amma, but she'll not call amma. I want food. I want water. She knows amma. If you ask her where is amma, she'll point at me. She knows that I am her amma, and whenever she's hungry or something, she'll not use 2 to 3 word phrases like amma, akali, amma, water kavali. Like this, she'll not use that phrases.
In fact, you didn't mention you're from which part of India. I mean, I know you're from South. I know you're from Andhra. Because
I'm from Andhra, sir. We are from a small town, Kadiri, which is we are not access to any speech, and we not able to send our children to higher schools. We only have to send us people to normal schools with minimum equipment and minimum playground. I mean,
nothing to worry. I want to give you a bulb-on moment. I didn't send my children to school for almost 3 years. I'm talking about this during this pandemic. My daughter she is in 12th, and my son is now in 6th. For almost 3 years, not because of pandemic. Even before pandemic, we had decided we were not going to send our children unschooling. Do you understand? There is a concept called unschooling. There are many parents across the globe who are unschooling. So as long as you know how you can go to manage your child, as long as you are aware of what are the different techniques, mother is the first teacher, who is the first school, you can contribute a lot.
Yes, now I got all this concept in the 2-3 months, and I am very much active with her, and she's picking up so good. The main concern is she doesn't know the people. There are other people. I shouldn't go to them. These are my people. I have to be with them. She doesn't know the difference.
The socializing. That's again to do with the socializing skills. Okay.
If anybody comes to her and start a conversation like this, she'll go immediately. She doesn't know who this person. Also, she'll go immediately. She will attach it to the person.
Nothing to worry. My reassurances are always there with you. You're not the only one. We have hundreds and thousands, probably the number of parents who are going through these issues. Okay, you don't have to hit the red button. Okay, you don't have to get panicky because your child is coming up with maybe sentences, and that's what maybe your intention is. But nothing to worry. These are all very small issues. As long as you are in the learning zone, you want to learn something and implement. There are many things what you can do, and ultimately it boils down to only that: how well you are making use of your time, available time and the resources, so that you're contributing for their stimulation. The child, by the time I finish this 5-day bootcamp, you will understand what probably would have been the reason why your child is having this issue, and how you can also compensate that whatever you lost out all these days, years, you can compensate it, and you still have 0 to 6 years, 0 to 8 years are the most extreme, the most crucial part of our parenting journey. Okay, so you've come here, take it as your first step. Let's take it one step at a time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations for your decision, Mrs. Madhurima. So I'm looking forward to meeting you for another 5 more days. Okay, so can I have somebody from the West? Can I have somebody from the West? And after West, I'm going to invite one Namrata. Namrata, please hang on. I want to speak to you. Can I have somebody from the West?
Hello, sir.
Anybody? Okay, I'm excited to speak to one father. Great. I love to see fathers in this boot camp.
Hello, sir. Mr. Sebastian.
Yeah.
From Vijayawada, means Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
Actually,
you're again from Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Sebastian. Anyway, I was excited to speak to you because I'm getting to interact with the father. But anyway, go ahead. I'm waiting for another person from the West. Anyway, I'm going to call it. Yeah. I'm going to keep it very short with you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. He is 6 years old.
Okay.
He is prompting, and I'm sending to him OT as well as speech therapy.
Okay.
Occupational therapy, speech therapy.
Okay. So
along with that, I'm always trying to for him for playing. I am giving the opportunity to play always.
Okay.
Even though he is not reaching up to that level, but he is prompting, means what I say exactly he says.
Wonderful. Nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. You are already in the mode of learning, and I think most of us, it looks like probably we are engaged in the speech therapy.
My worry is only that, sir. Actually, he has to go for studies now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just afraid of that.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Your focus should never be the studies. Your focus should never be the academics. Let me tell you, all of you. I'm going to mute everyone. There is a lot of background noise. I'll be muting everyone now. You don't have to worry about the academics. As a parent, your responsibility is entirely different. To be a parent to your child, that's it. You don't have to be a teacher to your child. Teachers will take care of it the moment he goes to the school. And studies, academics should never be your concern at this age. Okay. So your child is 6 years, I do understand, but nothing to worry. Okay. There are a lot of, because there are a lot of other areas of early child development. The only thing what you can do is you need to know what are those areas and take some action and put them into action. Okay. Otherwise, your child is going to be missing out. The child is going to have thousands and thousands of teachers in his life. But parenting, 0 to 6 years, 0 to 8 years, only you can do it. So what all you can do as parents is the idea, is the reason why you people have joined this program. And let us learn about that. Don't think about academics. My child is not writing. My child is not, yeah, speaking is an issue. A child is not, he's not interested in studies. He's not reading. He's not interested in writing and reading. That should never be your concern. Just leave it to the teachers. They'll take care of it. You have to be thinking about these parameters only if you are doing the homeschooling for your child. Okay. That's a different scenario altogether. Nothing to worry, Mr. Sebastian. Welcome to our 5-day bootcamp. Can I have somebody from the West, and we'll finish it off, and I need to introduce myself. Okay. So before I do that, I'm going to invite one more person from West.
Can I speak, sir?
Who is this? You're from West. Harish,
I'm from West. Yeah, I'm from Bangalore, sir.
I'm looking at somebody from West. Okay, we can't speak to everyone because we have a topic on hand. It's already about almost 25 minutes. Yeah. I need to give you some content for today's session.
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
If somebody is from West, please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So, this
Vaibhav.
Can you hear me, sir?
Vaibhav, you're from where?
I'm from Pune.
Pune.
From Pune, sir.
Okay, yeah. So okay, good to have a father here. Go ahead, Mr. Vaibhav.
Yes, sir. Actually,
I'm muting everyone. I'm muting everyone. Please unmute yourself, Vaibhav. Yeah. Hello, sir. Go ahead.
My son is 3 years old and he started going to his nursery classes now. But some of the times, if things are not gone as per his will. So he's just started getting hyperactive and started throwing the things around the house, and he started hitting us.
Yeah, that is nothing. That is nothing to do with hyperactive. Okay, so he's just getting. That's a communication what he's trying to have with you. Okay, the kids, you know what? The newborn babies till they are about maybe 8 months or 9 months. They keep crying, right? They keep crying. Yeah. The only thing they know is crying. Okay, and in crying also there are more than about 8 to 9 different communication what they are trying to communicate with us. If the nappy is wet, the crying tone is different. If they're hungry, the crying tone is different. But all that they know is only crying. So their entire communication channel is only through crying. On the similar grounds, your child, as a know, maybe the child is 3 years, the child is trying to communicate something to you. Okay, the best way the child is communicating with you is through hitting others and stuff like that. And that is where, as parents, we need to introduce them a lot of emotions. Okay, there are different forms of emotions. We need to introduce them one by one. And nothing to worry, as long as we are learning and we know how to tackle these situations. And I mean, you're going to be passing that test. Okay, we might be having hundreds and different issues, but we have a couple of techniques which you're going to learn it slowly. Okay, as soon as I finish this introduction part and get started with today's session, and by the time we finish 5 days, we'll be giving you 5 different techniques on 5 different days. And all these techniques are designed in such a way that all your issues and challenges are going to be taken care. Okay. Congratulations, Mr. Weber. And make sure that your wife also is going to attend this session. Good to have so many fathers out here.
Just one point, sir.
Go ahead.
He's good with us when me and my wife is there in this home. But when he goes to his grandpa or his uncle's home, then he becomes more aggressive towards us. He don't want us to be there around him. And I don't want us to touch him.
Little bit of pampering happening from the grandparents. Little bit of pampering happening from the grandparents, and obviously,
said that we will need some therapy session, counseling session, 2 or 3.
No. You don't have to think about the counseling session and all for him. I mean, you just try to understand that grandparents, there is a little bit of pampering happening from the grandparents, and not only you, most of us, wherein the kids are exposed to grandparents and other family members, they'll be having these issues. That is the challenge what we're going to face. There are two-edged swords, like both. Having a grandparent is a blessing for today's children. Most of the children in today's day and age, they don't have exposure to grandparenting. Okay. Both my parents, they died much before. My father died recently. My mom died long back, and my children doesn't know grandparenting from my end. The only grandparenting they have is through my wife's. Okay, I know the importance of grandparenting, but still, there is a lot of pampering which goes. Okay, so the kids are very smart. All that you need to understand is your child is much smarter. He's taken you for granted. He's taking you for a ride. Okay, and you should be happy about it. He's so smart that he knows how to tackle grandparents. He knows how to tackle you. Okay, so that's exactly what is happening. You need to know how to tackle the situation from your end. Okay, and that's what is going to happen in these 5 days. Nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. Yes. Good to have you, Mr. Weber. Okay, so keeping in mind, anyway, we are running out of time, and I also had a conversation with. I'm supposed to have a conversation with Namrata, but anyway, what I'll do is. What is the right age you people think is good for early child development? Can I have some comment on the chat box? In Namrata, I'm talking to everyone, keeping you in my mind. There could be a lot of other parents who are probably getting into that mode of parenthood, and maybe there are a few parents who just delivered. Maybe the kids parents having children below the age of 3 months, and they are here. How many of you are like that? You just delivered a baby and you're sitting here for a boot camp. Maybe your child is just less than 90 days. Yeah. Anybody around here like that? With the kids less than 90 days?
I think it's just me, sir, because I was reading the...
No, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people. I can guarantee you there are a lot of people, because I've seen the complete Google form what you people have filled. So I know there are a lot of people with maybe child with less than about 90 days. Okay. Anyway, newborn till 5 years. Okay. Newborn till, I didn't understand that. Anyway, so what I want to communicate to all, the ideal age for parenting is when the child is in the womb. You know that, Mrs. Namrata, have you heard of Garbha Samskar? How many of you have heard of Garbha Samskar?
I've done a workshop on Garbh Sanskar also before.
You attended a wonderful, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. You attended a program on Garbha Samskar. That means you're already in the track. Your child is going to be really blessed. Okay. Whatever you have learned there, you go on implementing it. Okay. And even those parents who are having children less than 90 days, there is a bulb on moment what I want to give all of you. Are you aware that your child's vision is only black and white? When the child is born, the only way the child gets connected to mother is through the smell or through the touch. Okay. The child's vision is yet to develop. Maybe the 7th or the 8th day, they start having a hazy kind of a vision. And during the first 90 days, the vision is only black and white. And after 90 days, they start differentiating the colors. The color perception will start only after the 90 days. The reason why I'm telling you all this is, there is nothing like what is the ideal age for, what is the ideal time for early child development. It starts from the day you people decide that you're going to have a baby. Okay. There are programs wherein you can learn from the day you decide you're going to conceive. From that day itself, you can start with a pair program. Okay. So you started early, your child is really blessed. It doesn't mean that those who are sitting here with children of 4 years, 5 years, maybe they've lost out on few things, but still they have many more things to achieve. The early child development is nothing but 0 to 6 years. That is a period during which you'll be able to mold your child the way you want to. And between 6 to 12 years, you'll be able to do the repairing work. In case if you've gone wrong in repairing, you'll be able to repair them. And after they become 12 or 13 years, there is hardly anything we can do. So you have a major role to play with your child. Here, this bootcamp is designed in such a way that the topics what we have taken up here during this 5-day boot camp is designed in such a way that every parent with newborn baby or even yet to be born up to the age of even 12 to 13 years, everyone will be getting benefited. Okay, so you attend these 5-day sessions and you have many things what you can do with your child. When you are expecting, Mrs. Namrata?
In November end.
November, another 2 months to down the line, and you're already in the track. Keep attending these kind of programs, and the day your child is there in front of you, come back to us. We have many things to offer. Okay, so we'll help you from just born babies even up to the age of 11 or 12 years. We have different modules. We have around 60 to 75 topics wherein we can give you training on. As long as you are committed to associate with us for maybe in a couple of years, we can give you plenty of things more. We used to run an in-the-womb program. Okay, but now because due to lack of resources, we are engaged so much in this 5-day boot camp, and young parents, I mean, we are not doing it anymore. Okay, if you're already attending it, please go do your Google research and get yourself enrolled into a parenting, a prenatal program or a Garbha Samskar. This is the message what I'm giving through Mrs. Namrata to all the parents. The right time to get into a parenting program in the day you decide that you're going to conceive a baby, and if you are pregnant, if you're carrying, and your child is really blessed. Good to have you here, Mrs. Namrata. I hope I've answered your question. So anyway, so it's already 35 minutes down, and I need to get started with my introduction as well.
So I have sent you a message. If you could just see and reply to me personally, it's okay. I don't want you to reply over everyone. It's okay.
Who's this?
Namrata itself, sir.
Nothing to. You stay connected in the 5-day boot camp. There'll be a lot of things what you'll be learning. Okay, you can implement it. If not for your child, maybe with your spouse you can implement. Okay, I'm giving you a hint, though I'm not made it open what we're going to be covering here. This is designed for all age group, and especially the parenting we're going to cover in this 5-day session. Anyway, I'm going to share my screen now. I need to start with my introduction. You're able to see my screen? Please go ahead and type yes in the chat box. I just want all of your confirmation. Okay. You're able to see my screen, right? So welcome all of you to 5-day WhatsApp Bootcamp 2020 Parenting Framework. Our module, our program is named after 2020 Parenting Framework. which is totally copyright proof, and we are the only people who are doing this, and we've been doing it for the last around 14-15 years. The idea is very simple. I do understand that all of you are dedicated, committed, but still many of you are working couple. You have issues with your time. You know that the best had to be given during those first couple of initial years, but unfortunately, due to lack of time, you are not able to spend so much of quality time. So what we mean by 2020 is, if you are willing to put in 20 minutes of your effort on learning something new, and another 20 minutes of implementing whatever you learned. It's a combination. It's like a cycle. You learn something new on a daily basis only for about 20 minutes, and you make sure that you're going to implement whatever you learned. You're going to implement it. Okay. If you're going to make that a habit, your child is really blessed. You'll be a proud parent at the end of maybe a couple of months. But these 5 days, we're going to make sure that you'll be getting into that rhythm. How probably, which are all the areas? What are those basic things, what you need to be focusing upon to get into that rhythm? That is exactly is 2020 parenting program. So when it comes to our introduction, I'm Raghunath Kaipu Murthy. I'm married to a wonderful lady, Rajeshwari Raghunath, and be a parent to 2 children, Aditri and Amartya. Aditri is around 17 years and Amartya is around 12 years. This PPT is 1 year back. Okay, so like typically, like any of you parents, like new parents, what happens? You're a single person, you get married, and within no time you also make a decision to have a child. And what happens at that point of time? Everybody is coming to you with a lot of suggestions and guidelines and advices, right? Like the same thing happened to us. Everybody used to be telling you're no more a bachelor now. You're a married person. You are also a family person. You have a child. Get focused. Okay, so you need to put in a lot of investment. You don't know how the schools are going to charge you. You don't know how much money you're going to spend. You need to have a lot of savings. Invest in that. Invest in this. Make this kind of a land investment. Make this kind of a LIC policy. I mean, typically it would have happened to all of you also, right? And we are on the same kind of a journey. Okay, we said we're going to make everything possible to give the best of our child. So we were focusing more on creating big assets for our children, whatever we could with our capacity. My wife, basically, she had a lot of background in this early child development. She is into child psychology, and she is a certified child specialist as well. And she was always used to be telling me, like, I mean, there are a lot of programs which is going to enlighten us as parents and empower us in terms of learning something new and implementing. It's not like a mundane scenario wherein we put our children to the school. There are a lot of things what we can do at home. Okay, certainly not the same thing what our parents did to us. There are many things what we can think of doing it, because the age is, I mean, the era is totally different. How my parents did my parenting is entirely different from what I can parent my children. How many of you accept with me on this? Please type S in the chat box. So, but I was not getting the hang of it. I said, okay, what is this nonsense? I don't want to learn anything about parenting from XYZ. I know what best I can do. However, my parents have done for me. I'm going to follow the same thing. I'm going to grow up my child the way my parents grew me up. That was my, adamant character, I can say. But she literally pulled me into one of those weekend seminars. Those days, we didn't have many workshops like this happening in India. And she happened to pull me into one of those weekend seminars, and the speakers were from different part of the world. And though I walked into one of those seminars very hesitantly, one speaker in middle of that seminar came up with a beautiful statement. Till then, my mind was totally blocked. It was not open. You know what he said? He said, 90% of the parents in this world, they're all busy creating big assets for their children. And only about 5 to 10% of the parents who are wise enough to understand that they're going to make an asset out of their children. And that's it. He stopped it. And after that, again, I went to my own thinking and I started analyzing what he said. You know what he said? He said, it's better to make our children the biggest asset instead of making big assets for our children. Is this a bulb on moment for any one of you? Please type bulb on in the chat box. If you're excited with, that was a transformation what I had. That was a statement which transformed my thinking on parenting. My entire perception of parenting got changed. Okay. Once I understood that we are doing so many things for our child, there is a concept wherein we can create our children, we can make them a biggest asset. So instead of doing that, we are focusing more time on what are the kind of assets what we generate for them. Okay. And that is the time I decided, okay, let come what may, I'm going to learn about whatever I can. Okay. and do give our child the best. My daughter was already around 4 years at that point of time. It was, many of you would be able to relate to it. We came to know about this kind of an opportunity only when my daughter was around 4 years. Many of you are lucky enough. I mean, there's like people like Namrata, you still not delivered, you already come into a parenting program. My son is not the same, because once we started implementing and we started seeing the results, and my wife also said, okay, this is the time we can also do something like this. I mean, we can relate to so many other parents who are not aware of these kind of concepts. So let us launch a concept in India. Those days, not many were doing. Of course, if you go to Facebook, there are a lot of advertisement nowadays. There are a lot of parenting coaches. That is one of the most popular niches, okay, which is available in today's day and age. But we've been doing it for the last 14 years. We decided we're going to launch a program. And initially, it was only for our friends and relatives. And now we have trained more than about 35,000 parents across the globe. Okay, for the last around 14 odd years, we have trained more than around 35,000 parents, and whatever we are going to be giving it to you in the next 5 days is a cream of what we have learned, having interacted with 35,000 plus parents for the last around 13-14 years. I'm sure that we are not going to disappoint you. We're going to be coming up with many insightful topics in this 5 days. Okay, and program is going to start today and it's going to go until Friday. Okay. Every day we're going to be coming and meeting live between 7:30 to 9 p.m. If any one of you probably feel that they will not be able to attend these 5 day sessions and make the complete use of it, please ping me personally. We can always accommodate you for our next batch. Okay, because there are a few parents who joined this program almost over 3-4 batches, but we didn't have. We kept postponing our batches because we didn't have enough audience here. As in today, we have about 125, 130 people on board. I'm very happy to have so much of audience, because once you have a bigger, when the community is big, with a lot of interactions, the learning also will be more. Okay, so I presume that all of you have made up your mind and you're going to make use of this complete 5 days. And I don't want anybody coming maybe after 3rd or 4th days here, I could not attend the sessions. Even if you're not going to attend the sessions, nothing to worry, we're going to give you the recordings. Okay, let me make this announcement. And I want all of you to sincerely take part in these 5 days. Give yourself around 1.5 hours on a daily basis. And once you do it, I can guarantee you for the rest of your life, you'll be in the rhythm of that 2020. You don't have to spend 1.5 hours on a daily basis to learn something. You can keep it only 20 minutes, but you'll be getting into that mindset. For that, you need to spend about 1.5 hours during this 5-day boot camp. Okay, every day we're going to come up with a different topic. Like I said, we have more than about 65 to 70 topics on board. How do you make your child emotionally strong? How do you help them understand the socializing skills? How do you give them value system? How do you manage their food and nutrition habits, and toilet training, and speech delay, communication? How do you make them listen to you? Games and activities, outdoor activities, indoor activities, gross motor skills, fine motor skills. How do you teach them financial intelligence? The topic goes on. We have more than about 70 topics wherein we can talk about on parenting. But due to lack of time, we have identified 5 such topics which we have taken for these 5 days, and every day we're going to be giving you different topics. And we're going to be having a Q&A session, exclusive Q&A session. My wife is going to come and handle the Q&A session, and she's going to be there with you for tomorrow and day after. Okay, and most importantly, we're going to give you a few activities on a daily basis to get the maximum mileage out of this program. Make sure that you get into this activity more. It should not be like only learning. And coupling with that, you also need to implement whatever you people have learned. You need to implement it, and it has to happen on a daily basis. And you have to submit the activities the very next day. Okay, there is no compulsion. This is not like a school, but if you do it, I can guarantee your learning is more beneficial. How many of you believe knowledge is power? Please type S in the chat box. Those of you who believe in the statement, knowledge is power, please put S in the chat box, right? Knowledge is power, right? But you know what? In parenting for you, 2020 parenting, we believe applied knowledge is power. Okay? Unless otherwise you apply the knowledge, what you learned, it is as good as not learning at all. Don't go in, like, that is a mistake. Most of us, we do it in today's day and age, wherein the information is flattened out. You just go to Google, YouTube, you'll be hounded with a lot of information. But we don't need so much of information. Whatever little you learn, you get into the action mode, you learn it, implement it, then relearn, learn again. Okay, that should be your process. So we believe that you need to apply the knowledge, whatever you picked up. And once you apply it, you are completing that cycle of learning. Okay. Anyway, so what are the topics? Most of you would have seen that video. Anyway, respect the privacy of the members. This is, I mean, we used to put this as a statutory warning for all the parents, but I hope that all of you are matured enough. Don't come up with the negativity. My humble request to every one of you is, we have come here to learn something for the next 5 days. Even if you don't like certain things happening, because this is an open community, okay? Just because of your negative comments, maybe a lot of parents keep interacting. Don't try to snub others, or don't try to come up with any kind of negative. Before you post a comment on the WhatsApp group, make sure is that comment is going to empower other participants or not, okay? Because once that negativity spreads, it's going to be going like a wildfire, okay? And I don't think any one of you will have a good learning experience. So try to stay away from the negativity. Don't hurt the other participants, because everyone will be participating, maybe not in the session, but in the WhatsApp group, it's open for everyone. Each one of you might be coming up with your own issues. Okay, wherever you feel that you want to help them, please go ahead and share your thoughts. Otherwise, try to be only positive. That's the only thing what I'm going to appeal to all the parents. Our mission is to help maybe around 1 lakh parents become super productive in the next 5 years. We're going to deliver the best in the next 5 days. Their cooperation is highly being appreciated. Thank you. What are the topics? Day 1, that is today, I'm going to focus only on developing the mindset for super productive parent with the spending quality time with your child. Okay. My entire topic for today is only, I want to dwell with how you're going to develop the right mindset of becoming a super productive parent. That's it. Okay, nothing else. Okay, because mindset is the most important thing whenever we need to get into learning mode of anything. We join courses, we join gym, we go to music classes, we join acting classes, maybe some sports. But people who go to the top are only those people who get into those assignments only with the right mindset. I want to share with you an example here. Okay, how many of you have heard of 2 top cricketers that India produced probably in the late 80s or 90s? One of the names is Sachin Tendulkar. The other name is Vinod Kambli. Is there anyone around here who's heard both the names? Please type S in the chat box. Vinod Kambli and Sachin Tendulkar are the 2 young cricketers who were introduced to the world of cricket in probably late 80s or early 90s. Unfortunately, most of you would have never heard of a character called as Vinod Kambli. You know what? Most of the cricketing pundits during that time, I'm talking about the experts in the cricket, they always felt, most of them, they felt maybe Vinod Kambli is a bigger fortune for India. Maybe he's got a better technique. Maybe he's got a better temperament. Everything was so nice about Vinod Kambli. Nobody actually betted on Sachin Tendulkar. That was the reality. I happened to hear this from none other than Harsha Bokle in one of his interviews. But you know what happened? As the days progress, Sachin continued, I mean, as on today, he is the god of Indian cricket, to the extent that nobody knows who is Vinod Kambli. Okay. The only reason for that is the mindset. The kind of mindset, though both of them, Kambli would have probably had a better temperament, he would have had better skills, better knowledge, better technique. Maybe many of the things what he had was better than Sachin Tendulkar, but still the kind of mindset what this little champion had, nobody has replaced that mindset. That is the only reason why he's become the god of the world cricket. Okay. The reason why I'm giving you this example is you're coming here, maybe you would have had your own expectation. My agenda for today is only to make sure that what is going to be your expectation out of this 5-day boot camp, so that every day you'll be in that learning mode with a lot of open-mindedness. I'll cover what all we're going to cover in today's session a little later. And day 2 tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing in my wife. We are going to be introducing a very unique concept. This is a cream of our all the topics, subconscious parenting. Okay. And the USP of our program is that both me and my wife are going to come at random and keep connected with you. Okay. Because if I'm going to go on like this, talking about my experiences, many of the mothers sitting us there, they might be getting overboard. What is this nonsense? This guy talking too much about parenting. What does he know about my understanding? How is he going to help me? I don't want you people to cuss me for that. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to bring in my wife, because I want you people to get the perspective of both mother and father. Okay. I want you to treat this parenting journey from a mother's point of view and also a father's point of view. Okay. And She's going to be there tomorrow talking about this topic. And Def tomorrow, again, we have another topic called as vision for you, your family, your child, and what is the importance of learning the importance and implementing with vision charts. We're going to be giving you those gifts like which we have promised you, that vision chart template and also a sleep planning technique template as well. And I can guarantee you, whatever the issues and the challenges you have in your parenting, you'll be able to get a solution for that only with these 2 sessions, tomorrow's and day after. Please don't miss it. Mark your calendar, come 99%. I urge everyone to attend it live, but in case if you can't attend it live, please go through the recording as well. Okay. Bhavagna, please go ahead. I'll be sharing the recording as well. And day 4, I'll be coming back to you and I'll be introducing another interesting topic called as use it or leave it. Okay. And I can guarantee you the last 2 sessions are so important. Please don't miss it. Okay. Because your entire perception of parenting is going to be changed in those 2 sessions. The 4th day session, the brain stimulation, exploring the different resources, possible resources of early brain stimulation with use it or lose it. And final day, I'm going to be giving you the blueprint as well. Okay. Please remember, parenting is not a 5-day journey. How many of you can resonate with this? Please type me in the chat box. Parenting is not a 5-day journey. It is a lifetime commitment. Moment you decided that you're going to have a baby, you and your spouse are involuntarily committed yourself for another probably 25 more years. Okay. And don't look out for a magic genie. Okay. So I have this issue. If I learn this, everything, because you will be coming up with many issues. All that you need to do is keep yourself in the learning mode. Even today, after 16 years of being parents, we still have many questions for which we don't have answers because our issues are different now. Maybe I'm facing a challenge with a teenage parenting. How do you tackle a teenager? How as a parent you can manage a teenager? That is my concern now. I'm still learning. I'm still attending many workshops. Okay. So your journey of learning will never stop. Okay. So it's going to be lifelong, but whatever we are learning, we're going to implement. That is exactly what it counts. Okay. Congratulations to all of you because you've taken the decision to come inside. And we don't want to teach you anything out here in this 5 days because personally, as a parent, I had that own ego. I don't want somebody else to teach me on parenting. I don't want somebody to teach me how to be a father. I don't want anybody to teach me how to be a husband. I always had that ego. I am good at it. Okay. But maybe few of you might be of the same mindset. So I don't want to teach you anything here, but we're going to make you think a lot. We're going to push you sometimes. Don't feel offended. We're going to pull you up many a times. We can understand that you're going through different challenges. And most importantly, we'll be giving you a lot of surprise elements in terms of many insights. We'll be shocking you. We'll be surprising you. Sometimes we might not even answer your questions. How do you like it? But we'll make sure all your questions, all your issues are addressed and you will be walking away with all the relevant answers before you finish these 5 days. That is my promise to all of you. Okay, once again, let me have a sip of water. So my today's topic is starting now. I'll take another 45 minutes and I'll wrap it up. Maybe by 9:15, I should be through with my today's session, maximum. I'm supposed to finish it by 9, but I might take another 15-20 minutes. Okay. So like I told you before, getting into a strong mindset is the agenda. Okay. Like I've given an example also. Why? Because most of us, we spend maybe hundreds of thousands or whatever the amount. We get into something with a lot of excitement. Maybe after 1 or 2 days, we lose our excitement. We go to watch a movie. We come up with a terrible feeling. Because in today's day and age, there are so many options. You can do your research and still go to a movie and you come back with the right feeling. But it won't happen because the mindset. Okay. What you're expecting and what you want to get out of it, that has to be clear in your mind. So you need to have a strong mindset. That mind also needs to be open. Okay. If you're having a mind which is closed, it is compared to a closed parachute. What happens if you have a parachute which is not opening up? Okay. It's of absolutely no use, right? A parachute and mind are similar to one another. So unless otherwise they're open, there is absolutely no point in having them. Just to prove this point, I just want to come up with a small story. The reason why I want to start up with the story in most of my sessions is because one of the primary characters of being the right parent is your ability to figure out how good you are in coming up with the stories. Most of us are not born storytellers, but unfortunately or fortunately, after you become a parent, after you become a father or a mother, if you're not going to be getting better in storytelling, you'll be missing many opportunities because your child is not going to listen to you. I've already interacted with a couple of parents. My child is not listening to me. My child is getting into anger issues. My child is getting into tantrum. My child is not eating. Maybe it's not able to socialize properly. Probably not able to handle them emotionally. There is no way you're going to sit and discuss these issues with your child, making them understand. They're not going to listen to you. The only way you can get the best possible result is if you are a good storyteller. You can relate to all these issues only by getting better in your storytelling. How many of you accept with this? Please type S in the chat box. So, and that in mind, I'm going to wear my storyteller's hat, okay, and make an attempt in narrating a story. And along with that, I also want to send a message that what is open-mindedness? How is going to make a huge difference for all of us, okay? The story is called Cup of Life. You know what? A couple of centuries back, okay, in India, in a small town in India, those days you can imagine, right? Any small village probably would have not had more than about 50 or 60 families, okay? And every such village, there'll be one wise person. Probably the entire village considers him as wise only because maybe he is exposed to a lot of other world as well. Maybe he's traveled a lot. Maybe he's visited many places. So they all look up to him with a lot of respect. And he is a solution creator for each of their problems. Any kind of problems, like be it financial, marital, or personal, family disputes, anything, he is a person to go to. And he says something, and the whole community is going to listen to us. You can imagine this scenario, right? There was a small, old professor, not a very young professor, who was a professor. They used to call him a professor only because he had not learned anything in teaching and stuff like that, but only because he had a lot of exposure to the outside world. They always revert to him with a lot of respect. Any solutions, they used to go to him. And suddenly what happens is, to that village, there enters a Buddhist monk, a young Buddhist monk who just about in 25 or 26 years. He takes shelter in one of the temples. And slowly he starts attracting each of their community people with his aura, okay? Because his entire profession is like vagabond. He's moving from one place to another place. He knows he has more of experience compared to the professor. And slowly people start looking up to him and they start crowding in his place because the kind of wisdom what he has is unmatchable. When this news reaches his professor, what happens? Usually there is a little bit of jealousy, right? Because this Buddhist monk is replacing this professor in terms of his niche, okay? Which happens to most of us, even as parenting coaches as well. But he being a wise person, he thinks, let me not conclude on anything. Let me go and check up myself. I want to meet this guy, young professor, young Buddhist monk, and figure out what this guy is all about. Within no time, he's going to develop some kind of a communication, and he'll call up, or whatever the communication they had at those times. He'll communicate with the monk. He says, I want to come and meet you. I want to figure out, I mean, maybe you're good in giving nirvana and those kind of feelings. I just want to come and meet you once. Buddhist monk is totally pleased. He said, why don't you come over? In fact, I was about to come and meet you because everybody is talking about you in this village. I want to come. Anyway, you want to come, please go ahead and come over to my place. Tomorrow I'll be meeting you. I'll be waiting for you. And when this professor gets into this monk's place, this monk is eagerly waiting with all his followers, and he is ready to give him a red carpet welcome. It's almost like he is welcoming a king or some prominent person. And the moment he sees him, he will also fall down on his feet. He's saying that, please bless me with your wisdom. Professor is gone there to learn, but this guy is telling him that, please bless me with your wisdom. This professor, he's totally pleased. He said, okay, this guy is good. He's so humble. Maybe that is the reason. Humble nature is one of the virtues by which you can become so popular. He gets inside. The monk says, why don't we start our discussion with a cup of coffee? I'm going to make a cup of coffee or a tea, and I'm going to offer it to you myself. I'm going to serve you myself. He'll go inside. He'll only prepare a cup of coffee. He'll bring everything onto the table. He's going to keep the bowl. He's going to keep the pot. He's going to keep all the cups. And he'll start pouring that tea from the pot to the teacup. Professor is so excited to have this kind of a reception. But there is a small trick here. The cup is full, he is still going on to pour. He's still pouring, he's still pouring. What happens? It's overflowing, right? The entire table gets messed up, like the way you can see it in the picture. It doesn't stop there. He continues to pour. The whole table gets messed up. The floor also start getting messed up because the entire floor is getting messed up and the professor needs to almost have to stand up on his feet. He's getting angry. He says, what the hell are you doing? You're trying to, I don't know what you're trying to communicate to me. Can't you see? Simple thing. The cup is full, but you're still pouring. And that's the first time the monk opens up his mouth. My dear professor, the reason why probably I just wanted to enact this particular thing in front of you is because I don't know where to start my conversation. You're such a wise person. You've been around this town for almost about 40, 50 years. You have much more wisdom compared to what I have. I'm only 25 years. And you have your own prejudices. You have so much of knowledge. In spite of all that, you have taken a decision to come here and learn something from me. You want to know what I'm doing. Okay? My only humble request to you is, please empty your cup. If you don't empty your cup, whatever is happening to this cup right now here, the same thing is going to happen to your mind as well. Please empty your mind. Only then I can give you some kind of an understanding of what I have learned till date, and probably we can share this learning with you as well. Unless otherwise your mind is already full with all your prejudices and your previous knowledge, what you gained, whatever I'm going to discuss with you or I'm going to educate you, it might not make sense to you. The story is called as Cup of Life. My humble request to each one of you parents out there is, please empty your cup. There's a message what I'm giving to each one of you. I'm not saying that I'm going to give you a nirvana feeling of parenting in this 5-day bootcamp. That is not my agenda. Okay? Essentially, what I want to communicate to you is, whenever we get into any kind of new assignment, the biggest drawback what most of us might have is we go with a lot of prejudices. I humbly request each one of you to empty your cup before we start our session. How many of you are willing to commit that your cup will be empty? Please type, my cup is empty in the chat box. You can put it into short form and post it in the message in the chat box as well. I hope you are with me. Let us come back and analyze how this 5-day bootcamp went, maybe on the 4th day or the 5th day. Okay? Till then, I'm not saying that I'm going to give you Nibbana in parenting, but unless otherwise you get into that mode of keeping your mind open, whatever we're going to keep trying to pour upon to you for the next 5 days, it might go waste. Okay, let us not waste our time. $500, what you paid is hardly anything. Okay, more than $500, it is a question of time. I want you to make use of your whatever the time you're going to be putting for the next 5 days. The only way you can go ahead and do it, commit yourself that your mind is going to be empty. My cup is empty. Wonderful. Good to see many comments out there. Okay, that is not only here. Promise yourself this is going to be your mindset for you, for future, and even for your child. Don't walk in with any kind of a prejudices. Once you decide, you have to decide whether you go. You want to go to a movie, you select whatever the movie. Once you go to a movie, you make sure that you're going to come back out of the movie with a pleasant mind. That will happen only when you're going to enjoy that movie with all the open-minded condition. If you're going to have pre-noted ideas about that movie, you might not enjoy. Okay, always keep your mind open so that you can enjoy more in your life, especially in this 5-day bootcamp. Let us get started. Okay, I hope that all of you have taken this commitment. And next thing is, we have given you the logic of why you need to have a strong mindset, and we have given you the learning of how the mindset has to be open. The third thing is that you need to have a laser focused goals which are emotionally driven. Okay, we have a lot of dreams, we have a lot of commitments, we have a lot of goals. Why probably you would have come to this boot camp? Many of you already given you your number one reasons why you are probably come here to attend this 5-day boot camp. Only thing what probably is left, in my opinion, is you need, the dream is like a kite. Okay, the goal is like a kite. It is going to be flying all around. But make sure that you have some kind of a connection which is still there in your hand. You need to have a thread which is going to develop that connection between you and the kite. That how strong is that connection? How strong is that thread? That will determine how you get connected with your kite or with your dream. So that is what I refer to as an emotionally driven goal. You have a dream, you have a goal, but how you're going to connect that dream or a goal with your emotion. That is what I want to do now. So to make you understand in a better perspective, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that option to unmute yourself. I'm going to close this presentation as well. I want another participant. Okay, whoever missed during the first 20 minutes, I want you to unmute yourself now. Probably you are able to unmute. Yeah, you can unmute. I want one volunteer to come and have a conversation with me. Through my conversation, I want to make the learning also happen. Whoever is ready, please say hi. And I'm going to pin your video as well. I just want one participant. Rest of you, please stay muted. You're able to unmute yourself, right? You can say hi. Raghav, Manjula, hi. Raghav, hi. You can unmute yourself. Say hi to me. I'm going to invite you for a conversation. It's very interesting. So through the conversation, yeah. Who is this?
This is Ganesh from Chennai.
Ganesh, please open up your video, Mr. Ganesh.
One second, sir. Actually, I'm driving. I stopped for my purpose. So it's okay to have an audio conversation, sir?
That's okay, but I would prefer to, I want to see some faces. No issues, Mr.
Okay,
Ganesh.
sir. I'll skip this for another volunteer. No problem, sir.
Sure, sure. Please go ahead. Who else wants to come in? I think I heard a mom saying hi to me. Who's this?
Hi, sir.
Who's this? Princey, right? Princey
Yeah,
Vilas.
Princey from Kerala.
Yeah, Mrs. Princey. Good to have you here, ma'am. I'm going to have a small conversation with you. You're from which place?
I'm from Kerala, South part in Kochi.
Okay, how old are your children? A little bit of your background.
He's my miracle baby. And I got my baby at my age of 43. It's the first child. And there is no other medication. Yeah, thank you, sir. So he is very precious for me. The problem is what? And he was.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. The problems we'll talk about it. So before I start my conversation with you, I want to I want you to make a couple of assumptions. You're staying in Kerala, right?
Kerala, yeah.
You're staying in an independent house or an apartment?
Yeah, I'm in flat.
Which floor you're staying? Which floor you're staying, ma'am? I'm going to mute everyone now. Yeah, I'm muting everyone. Please unmute yourself, Mrs. Princey. Yeah. You're staying in first floor. You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself, Princey.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. You're staying in?
Third floor. Third floor.
Anyway, for the sake of conversation, building up the right conversation, I wanted to make a couple of assumptions. The first assumption is that you're staying in the first floor. You're staying in the first floor. Is it okay with you? You're staying in the first floor. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the second assumption is, let us assume that both of us are childhood friends. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
We know each other from a very young age, and I happen to know your husband. You happen to know my wife. We have come to your place, visit your place. I'm excited to meet you. And as children, we are also extremely adventurous. Okay, that is the third assumption what we are making here. Okay. So we come to your house. You welcome with all your excitement. We are sitting in your balcony. Let's assume that we are sitting in your balcony. We are exchanging. You offer us your favorite drink. We are enjoying it, and suddenly, out of nowhere, I want to throw up a challenge to you. Mrs. Princey, are you willing to jump out of the balcony right now?
Oh, no, never.
I thought probably you're adventurous enough. Just a challenge what I'm throwing. You don't want to do it?
Challenge. But if it is challenge also, I cannot do so. How I will?
I respect your opinion because I don't want to take a decision just because I'm throwing up a challenge. Maybe I'm mad. I do understand that you're not a mad person, right? You don't want to do it, right? Anyway, let me try my luck. What if I'm going to offer you some reward? Like probably I'm going to offer you 10,000 bucks. Then accept this challenge.
Still I will think, because that profit or that gift is important for me, or my life is important for me. Then only
I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I respect your decisions. I want to increase the stakes. What if I'm going to offer you 1 lakh? Are you willing to jump?
The same policy I'll keep. Money, yeah. Money
is not something which is very lucrative in this scenario. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that all of you are getting to understanding where I'm getting to now. Okay. This is a conversation what I'm having with Princey, because I want all of you to relate to this conversation as well. Mrs. Princey, now I want you to assume another scenario. Okay. This is again another assumption. Let us assume that we are sitting in the balcony and I'm talking to you while having this challenge to you. And your small little child, your son, probably he's around 4 years. How old is your son?
So, I think my son around me and he's also.
Okay, your small little son, we can see him playing downstairs. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's playing there with his bicycle or tricycle. We can see him, he's enjoying his play all by himself while we are having this conversation. And suddenly, imagine there is a venomous snake which is crawling towards your son. Or probably there is a mad wild dog which is pouncing upon your son.
Hi. Okay.
Now, under this scenario, are you willing to jump?
Sir, could you please repeat that?
Let us imagine a scenario, like it's another assumption what I wanted to make. Your small little son is playing downstairs.
Okay.
There is a venomous snake which is trying to probably about to attack your son, or maybe there is a wild mad dog which is pouncing upon your son. You can see it is happening right in front of us. In this scenario, are you going to jump out of the balcony now?
Of course. Of course.
That is exactly I wanted to have a conversation. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Princey. I want all of you to congratulate Mrs. Princey for having a conversation with me. And this is exactly what I wanted to communicate with you all.
Yeah.
My dear parents, okay, you can unmute yourself, Mrs. Princey. I think your child is also excited.
Okay. Thank you,
This is
sir.
exactly what happens. He wants your attention now. Okay. So he needs more attention now. Okay. What happened now? As you all listen to this conversation, the scenario was very simple. Jumping out of the balcony was an agenda or the task what we had. I'm going to mute everyone now. Please stay muted for some time. Okay. So agenda was very simple. Jumping out of the balcony was a task or agenda what we had in our hand. No matter what happened, I offered Mrs. Princey 10K. She said no. I said I also boosted up her ego, saying that you were an adventurous child. You were a child who were very adventurous when we knew each other. So that also didn't work. I offered her 10K, it didn't work. I offered even 1 lakh, it didn't work. But the moment I asked her to imagine this scenario, her decision was yes. Maybe the first time when I said, maybe I'll think. I don't know what is there to think, but maybe that thought came in. How are we going to do it? Maybe we are in the first floor. Maybe there is a water pipe. I can climb down, hanging on to that water pipe, and I can reach out to my son. Or maybe there is a tree in front of my balcony. I jump onto the tree, then start sliding down. Maybe those options we are considering. But now, when the decision was to be taken, assuming that the child's life is a danger, the decision was yes. The next minute, we are ready to jump out of the balcony. This is exactly what I refer to as an emotional reason. And another term, what I want to use for that is why parenting versus how parenting. Most of us, we have many challenges in our life. When it comes to parenting, the challenges are like, how do I make my child emotionally strong? My child has got an issue with the anger management. My child bangs his head against the wall. She's very adamant. He's very adamant. My child is not able to socialize. It goes to the school, but it doesn't want to mingle with any other person. My child's eating habits are not good. How do I make my child probably good in eating? How do I make my child emotionally strong? Or how do I make my child more socialize? How do I teach value systems to my child? My child has got an issue with the gadget addiction. How do I make my child sit away from the gadgets? Whenever you are asking yourself with the question, how do I make things happen? It's more or less confirmed that you might not figure out the answer by yourself. The easiest way to get closer to your answer to any of the issues what you have on hand is turn that question from how to why. Let me repeat it. Instead of saying, how do I make my child emotionally strong? You start asking yourself, why should I make my child emotionally strong? Instead of asking yourself, how do I make my child socialize? You ask yourself, why should I make my child socialize? Once you start reframing your question and make it why instead of how, there is a possibility that you're getting closer to your question, because that is what is a true emotion conditioning, what you're creating here. I'll share my experience. When initially, like I told you, I was not in for this kind of parenting programs and all that. My wife is the one who forced me getting into a seminar. Because till then I used to think that, what is this nonsense? I know what to do. Okay. But moment I heard that statement from one of the speakers in the seminar, he said that 90% of the parents, they are behind creating assets for their children. Only 5 to 10% of smart parents, they know the importance of creating an asset out of their children. That opened up my mind. Till then it was closed, because that gave me an emotional reason. And whatever they told me after that statement, it started creating big sense to me, because my emotional reason was, I wanted to make my children the biggest asset. That is my first priority. When I made that emotional reason, my entire perception of parenting started getting to change. So all of you are dedicated, all of you are committed. You've come here to attend this program. The task, what I'm going to give you for today is exactly this. Before you go to bed tonight, I want all of you to sit with your spouse and come up with your true emotional reason why you want to learn and implement something for your child. Maybe out of this 5-day bootcamp. But the only thing what you need to make is make sure that you need to be clear with your emotional goal. You told me this is the reason, but this is my top priority. Maybe there are small issues. My child is not able to emotional. They're all the small issues. But I want you to think on a larger scale, because as I know you're excited, as I know you're committed, you will be committed. But without your knowledge, maybe after 1 month, or maybe after 15 days or 2 months, for example, you'll be having many other scenarios in your family. Maybe you have some financial challenges, or maybe you have some health issues, maybe you have a function happening. The priority, whatever you have for your early child development, should stay connected with you for at least maybe a couple of years more. It should not be like, I have an issue now, I need to do something about it. Always it should be back of your mind. So that will happen only when you are clear with the emotional goal. The assignment, what I'm giving you through this activity is, before you go to bed tonight, I want all of you to come up with your true emotional reason why you want to be part of this 5-day bootcamp. It could be anything, not necessarily like creating, making your child the biggest asset the way I had my emotional goal. It could be anything. Maybe you want to impress yourself. Maybe you want to convince your spouse that you are the best possible parent. Maybe you want to impress your in-laws. It could be any reason. But make sure that you want to write down your emotional reason. If possible, write it down on a piece of paper, get it laminated, keep it in your wallet, or maybe create a poster out of it with your child's picture, post it on your kitchen wall, or maybe on your wardrobe. You should be able to access that emotional reason on a day-to-day basis. Once you make this happen, I can guarantee you that this parenting journey is going to continue with a lot of learning. How many of you are willing to commit that you are going to be clear with your emotional goals tonight? Please type in the chat box that I commit. Just post a comment on the chat box that you commit. And you're going to share your emotional goal with all the audiences in WhatsApp group. It's not a compulsion. If you think it is very personal, which you don't want to discuss, it's okay. But I urge all the parents to come up with your emotional reason. Maybe that is going to be a learning platform for others to learn as well. Maybe we are not clear with that emotional goal. Like what happens, maybe after 2 months, you attended this 5-day bootcamp, you paid 500 rupees. Many of you might not even attend these 5 days with a lot of sincerity. I can already foresee it. Okay, but those of you who are going to take this emotional reason tonight, I can guarantee you that these 5 days is going to be a transformation journey for you. I can guarantee you that. Okay, so anyway, I'm taking a screenshot of all those parents who committed, who posted the comment, and let us evaluate this maybe at the end of 5 days. And those of you who are looking at this recording also, this is agenda. Okay, after you finish your recording, watching this recording stuff, you make sure that you're going to come up with your emotional goal and write it down in a piece of paper, laminate it, and make sure that you're going to talk to that goal on a daily basis. Okay. On this note, what I'll do is I'll jump to the next parameter of today's learning. What we have learned till now, we have learned how strong we need to have a mindset. The mindset has to be open. The third also was emotionally driven goals. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to invite another volunteer who probably is willing to come and share the conversation with me. But this time it is going to be slightly different. This is going to be probably a physical exercise what I want to give, because my mentor always used to tell me any kind of an online class, whether you're organizing or you're sitting and attending, maximum you're going to sit there for only 60 minutes, because we need to have a small break and come around. But anyway, we don't want to have a break. What I'll do is I'm going to invite one participant who's going to engage in a physical activity. Okay. I want you to probably come here and show it to all the other parents how this physical activity has to be engaged with. And rest of you promise to me that you're going to follow whatever the instructions we are giving through this conversation. Who's that parent? I think I had one parent, Ganesh. Probably if you've no more traveling, you can open up, or anybody else for that matter. Okay, you can unmute yourself, and this is going to be a small exercise what we're going to be doing. And there is a learning also what is going to happen to us because of this activity as well. Whoever is willing to, please unmute yourself and open up your video. It's going to be very interesting. I want all of you to take part in this activity. So there is a huge learning, and this will be another activity which you're going to implement with your child as well. That's okay, Ganesh, no issues. Anybody who's willing, I'm allowing you to unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself, say hi to me. I'm going to be pinning your video as well. Nareshwar Rao, Agastya Iyer, raising your hands. Maybe you need to say hi to me. Then I'm going to call out your name and pin your video. Whoever is ready. Yes, Gannu mother, Gauransh, you want to come back?
Fine.
Please go ahead. I'm pinning your video now. Mrs. Your name is Gauransh. I want your video on.
Oh, my name is Ritulata. My son name is Gauransh.
Your name is Ritulata. Mrs. Ritulata, congratulations. You're going to enjoy this activity, and I want your video to be on. And are you ready, ma'am? Shall we get started with a little bit of exercise? We've been sitting for almost 1 hour. I want you to get engaged with some kind of a physical activity.
Actually, I am going somewhere. I'm in
lift. Okay, you are in the lift. Okay, carry on, carry on. Whoever is willing to, I'm going to replace her with somebody else. No issues. Who can take part in this? I'm removing the pen, and whoever is willing to, please say hi to me. But I want the video to be on. Madhurima, please open up your video. Madhurima, where are you? Yeah, Madhurima, good to have you here, ma'am. Good to have you here.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm in home now.
Great. 1 minute. Yeah, I'm going to pin your video. You're ready for the activity, ma'am?
Yeah,
congratulations. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So what I want to do is, I just wanted to keep your mobile a little bit away from you and stand up on your feet.
Yeah.
And we need to loosen up our muscles and do a small exercise here. It's very interesting. Okay, great. Congratulations. And I want rest of you to implement it. I don't want you to just keep watching it. It's not I don't want it to be like a video show. I want each one of you to participate. Stand up from wherever you are sitting, and you need to enact this. You need to accomplish this activity exercise what I'm giving. Mr. Madhurima, are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
So all that you need to do is very simple. Raise your right leg and rotate it clockwise. Very simple. Okay. If you want, you can take the support of a wall or a table, which you can see it on the left-hand side. Just raise your right leg, rotate it clockwise. Clockwise. Wonderful. You're doing great. All of you are able to do this, right? I want each one of you to do this. Mrs. Madhurima, great. I just want to tweak it a little bit. Simultaneously, you also have to write 6 using your right hand, not left hand, right hand. Your right leg has to move clockwise, and you need to draw a 6 using your right hand. If you want, you can take the support of that table or the cot. Yeah. Yeah, you just take the support of your left hand. You can hold on to that cot or table. Yeah. Rotate your leg clockwise, right leg, and draw an imaginary 6 using your right hand.
I can't do this.
It's so simple, right?
No, it is difficult actually.
When you hear it, it looks so simple. Yeah. How many of you are able to do this? Wonderful. Keep trying, ma'am. Keep trying. Keep trying.
I'll try.
Great. Wonderful. I want all of you to give a big round of applause your own digital way. It's very difficult. Vaibhav was saying it's difficult. How many of you are able to succeed in doing this? Please type S in the chat box. Thanks a lot, Mrs. Madhurima. Thanks a lot for your participation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. How many of you are doing this for the first time in your life? Please type me in the chat box, or please type first time in the chat box. Okay. It's a very, very simple activity. Let me share my screen again, and I'm going to mute all the participants as well. One minute. Okay. Okay, so I'll be muting everyone. Okay, it's a very, very simple activity. Stand up and rotate your right leg clockwise and simultaneously write an imaginary 6 using your right hand. It's a very, very simple activities. Most of you are claiming that this is the first time you're doing it, right? There is a very big learning in this activity, and I want all of you to take a screenshot of this PPT as well, because this is going to be one of the activities and other assignments which I'll be giving you tonight. Okay, the reason why I give you this activity is it's got a very simple but yet very insightful learning what we all can have from this activity. Okay, it's called as different stages of learning in our life. Most of us, we attended this particular activity for the first time in our life, right? We've been walking and doing what kind of exercises till now, we don't know. We're all 30 plus, right? But in spite of all that, for the first time, we tried out some activity which sounds very simple, but still it is complicated. But just because of the fact we all made an attempt at this kind of an activity, we all realized that we don't have a particular skill which is required to accomplish this activity. The reason for that is we all go through different stages of learning in our lives. This is very, very important. Once you understand this concept, you will be able to help your children also go through the same process of learning. Okay. The first stage of learning is called as unconscious incompetence. Unconscious incompetence is a stage wherein till I came up with these activities to all you parents, you didn't even know that there is a lack of skill within ourselves which is not permitting us accomplish this particular task on hand. This stage is referred to as unconscious incompetence. Most of you parents have crossed this stage in your parenting journey. You know why? This advertisement of mindful optimized parenting workshop would have reached thousands of parents across all over India. But only few people took a decision and wanted to come inside. Because you already understood there is a bit of incompetence, you have an issue on hand, you have a challenge on hand, you probably tried out a couple of solutions in your own mind, maybe nothing worked, you've come down here to learn something. You're already in the stages, next stage. There are hundreds and thousands of parents who not even realize that they need a workshop, they need a parenting program like this. The only thing is not that they are not committed. They are also committed, they are also dedicated, but they're still in the stage of unconscious incompetence. The next stage from here is where you go, that's more interesting. That is called as conscious incompetence. When you make an attempt for something for the first time in your life, then you realize, I don't have this competence, I need to develop that particular skill. I want to throw up a couple of examples with my own perception. You know what? Till I got married, I didn't know how to drive a four-wheeler. Because as a bachelor, I was very comfortable with the two-wheeler. I never had the requirement for going for a four-wheeler. And I always thought that driving is there in my genes. I'm going to do it. Anytime I'm going to sit in a car, I'm going to start driving it. Because I have this good aptitude and stuff like that. I was indirectly, what I'm telling you is, I was in that unconscious incompetence mode. But when I decided I'm going to buy a car after I got married, the first time I went and sat in the driver's seat, I realized this whole damn machine will not move an inch without me developing the skill to drive the car. I could never do it. That is a stage in my life which I refer to as conscious incompetence. Okay? The session is going to take another 15 minutes. That's it, max. I'll give another example. How many of you mothers out here, not only mothers, how many of you fathers, including all the parents, can frankly admit the fact that you didn't know how to cook when you got married? Please type me in the chat box. How many of you are willing to admit the fact, frankly, that you didn't know how to cook when you got married? You were in your own beautiful world of honeymoon life, right? All that goody-goody life, the first few couple of, at least for about a month, every day you ventured out different cuisines, you went around having dinner, maybe you went around to your relative's place. Every day there are people inviting you, why don't you come to my home for a dinner, bring your spouse and stuff like that. You somehow wailed away about 1 month. After 1 month, then you suddenly realize the life is kicking its own routine, and maybe you have to get into your office. You decide that you're going to prepare the food yourself. You walk into the kitchen for the first time. You're almost into tears because you don't know how you can manage that kitchen. Because maybe for the first time you're getting into the kitchen. Then you pick up a phone, call up your mom. Then you start cribbing with her. Arey, mommy, what did you do? You got me married. You didn't even teach me how to cook. How many of you can relate to this? I'm not only referring to mothers, even fathers. If you don't know how to cook, please start putting some time to learn cooking, because your kids are going to look up to you. If you tell your children you don't know how to make a cup of coffee or a milk, your children are not going to look up to you. Maybe you don't have to be an ace cook, but you need to know the basic things. It applies to both fathers and mothers as well, right? Most of you can relate to this, right? What happened? You transferred yourself from being an unconscious, incompetent performer to a conscious, incompetent performer. That is a beautiful stage, but most of us will have. That is a very small thing which differentiates between people who succeed and people who don't succeed. I don't know how easy or difficult it is to be like a Ambani. Unfortunately, I have not been exposed in my life with certain incidents which can prompt me to become Ambani in my life. That is the only thing which differentiates between Ambani and myself. I have not probably had an opportunity. I have not been exposed to certain requirements which is elevating me to the next level of performance. Once I decided that I don't know how to probably drive a car, what I did, I went to tutorials, driving classes. I enrolled myself into one of those driving institutes, and 21 days or something they taught me. I became very confident. I also got my license. That is a stage referred to as conscious competence. My dear parents, you know the reason why I'm giving you this concept in the first day boot camp? Please remember, your children also go through the same stages of learning in their lives. For example, a child who's probably 8-month-old, who's sleeping on his couch, it probably doesn't know one day it is going to sit on its own. Probably doesn't know one day it's going to start running and walking all by their own. It doesn't probably know that one day it will be able to have food all by their own. Because they're still in that unconscious incompetence mode. It is your responsibility as a parent to make sure they transform themselves from one stage of learning to another stage of learning, and you have to accomplish it in a very smooth fashion. If you don't understand this concept of different stages of learning, there is no way that you'll be able to monitor your child's progress as well. That's the reason why this topic becomes more relevant in today's day and age. What happened when I joined the driving school? I walked out with a driving license. I was competent. I could drive on my own, but still I was a conscious, competent operator. Many of you can probably relate to this. I know how to drive, but still I don't have that much of confidence. I'm shouting and yelling at my wife, please don't speak to me, leave me alone. My aim is only on the road. Both the hands are on the steering wheel. I'll make sure all my windows are up because I don't want that outside noise to distract me. How many of you can relate to this? Because I'm very conscious about my driving skills. This is a stage I refer to as conscious competence. The next stage is referred to as unconscious incompetence. Now if I have to drive, I don't have an issue. I can send messages on the WhatsApp. I can talk to my family people. I can play video games. Probably I can play whatever kind of things what probably I can never imagine. Driving a car, very comfortable. Because the driving is gone into my unconscious competence. It has already gone into my subconscious mind. This is the foundation on which we'll be taking up tomorrow's session as well. Tomorrow, like all of you know, we'll be introducing you to the subconscious parenting, and this is going to be a foundation for that. Another reason why I'm giving you this concept also because we have many issues on hand, dear parents. My child is not emotionally, they can't manage emotions. They're not good in socializing. You might be having, my child is, like in today's session, I could have about 3 or 4 of you parents telling me that my child is not able to speak. I'm taking my child for a speech therapy. But many of you probably who have become parents for the second time, you will be able to relate to most of these kind of challenges. I'll give another example as well. This will be more applicable to those parents who become parents for the second time. Only to develop the context here, I'm giving you this example. Can you remember those days, like wherein maybe this is a first child, and the child probably had a temperature. It's late in the night. You realize that your child is probably about maybe 1 or 2 degrees more than the normal prescribed temperature. You already hit the panic button, right? You wake up your husband or your spouse. Sit, put over. What happened? Said your child bukar lag rahi hai. Look at the temperature. Your spouse is still wiping his eyes and opening up his eyes. What happened? What happened? What? You call up a doctor now. He'll pick up the phone, try to speak to a doctor. Nobody picks up the phone because it is already about 11 p.m. in the night. All the clinics are closed. Would you stop at that? You force him to maybe hire a cab or start his own vehicle, go to the hospital. You want to admit your child there. Doctors are going to monitor your child, maybe give some couple of drips and tell you nothing to worry. Please take your child back and come tomorrow. Most of you probably would have gone through this kind of a challenge. But the same mother, by the time you have a second child, I can confidently claim that most of you mothers who become mothers for the second time, probably you're one of those unofficially crowned pediatric consultant. How many of you can relate to this? Most of your family people, people whom you know who got married and delivered a child, they're calling up, Didi, main kya karu? My child is not feeling well. What do I do? You become, and unofficially you claim yourself to be a qualified pediatric consultant. You know all the medications, you know all the syrups, you have a stock of everything at your home. You know how to monitor it, how many ml, how much ml, 30 ml, 60 ml, 90 ml, whatever you know. You know all the generic names of the medication, everything you know. What happened? Can you relate to this? You just transform yourself from being an unconscious, incompetent parent to an unconscious, competent parent. It has already gone into your back subconscious mind. The parenting is not a big challenge, my dear parents. The reason why I'm giving you this is, irrespective of what kind of issues you have, what kind of challenges you have, there's only the question of which stage of learning are you right now with. It is only the question of time. Maybe you find that you are in a kind of a scenario where you don't have an answer. It's only the question of time. Stay connected, keep yourself in the learning mode, keep learning. One day you're going to become an unconscious, competent parent. Every issue, every challenge has got a solution. But that solution will open up in front of you only when you're open-minded, only when you're in the looking zone. On that note, I'm going to end today's session. Okay. Like I promised you that we're going to be giving you 7 activities. And this is the time for you to understand the activities as well. I hope that all of you are going to make your emotional decision, emotional reason why you are into this kind of a program, and make sure that you're going to write it down in a piece of paper and post it in the WhatsApp group by tomorrow. And the second activity, what I'm going to give you is, so the same activity, what you did right now. Okay, standing on your feet, rotating your right leg clockwise, and drawing an imaginary 6 with your right hand. But the only change here is you're going to implement this activity along with your children. Make it exciting for them. It is not going to be like you're going to sit there and you're going to dictate your child. Arey, aajao beta, please do this. Stand on your tail, rotate. Not like that. You're going to enact this. You're going to show them how you're doing it and create that excitement, and make sure that your child also is going to come and participate with you. This is called as leg and body coordination activities. Go do your own research in the Google. You'll get many activities like that. But this is very much important to give a proper physical development. These kind of physical activities are going to help, wherein it requires a lot of coordination. Okay. And there is a possibility that your child will be able to do it, outperform you as well. How many of you can feel that? Your child probably will be able to do things better than you when both you and your child start doing an activity for the first time, because their learning is much faster than you can do. Maybe for you, it might be difficult for them. I don't know. My son picked up driving of a bicycle only within about 10 minutes. When I went to car driving, it took me around 21 days. My child picked up how to drive a bicycle in just about 10 minutes, because their learning is faster than me. So I just want to prove a point here. So to make that happen, engage in this activity tonight and take that video of your child performing that activity and probably possible share it in the WhatsApp group. That should be exciting for other parents to participate as well. Okay. If not for the video recording, at least share your feedback on how this activity went. So this is the second activity what I'm giving. And don't worry, if there is anyone around here who says that my child is only 6 months or 8 months, I'll be giving you a list of other activities as well. Please hang on for another 5 minutes. The third activity what I want to give you is, probably, I don't know how many of you have finished your dinner. Most of you might be planning to have your dinner tonight. What you're going to do is, when you're going to have dinner tonight, make it a family dinner together. It's not going to be like you're going to be feeding your child or you're going to have it with a plate, watching TV, not like that. You're going to have a family dinner tonight. All of you. You, your spouse and your child, and if your parents or in-laws, all of you are going to have a family dinner. The only interesting change here is you're going to accomplish your dinner only with your left hand. Make an attempt. Are you excited now? Your entire dinner activity is going to be accomplished only using your left hand. You're not going to use your right hand. Whether you want to use a spoon or you want to have it in your hand, that's option is left to you. But you're not going to make use of your right hand. You're going to make use of only your left hand. Want to know why I'm giving you this activity? Let me elaborate a little bit. How many of you feel that probably your child will be able to do this better than you, because by default, your child is a left-hander? I want to see some comment on the chat box. How many of you feel that your child is basically a left-hander? Please go ahead and type mine. Probably I'll give you a scenario wherein you have a guest in your house. You want your child to get up and go and greet the uncle by shaking hands. Your child invariably using his left hand to shake hands with the new guest. And we are all pouncing upon the child. Nahi beta, I say, mat karna, please use your right hand. We give some holy offering to your children. Maybe when you go to a temple or a mosque or wherever, the child is offered with some kind of a holy offering. The child wants to get that holy offering using the left hand. All of us are pouncing on the child. Nahi beta, aisa mat karna, please use your right hand. Many of you can relate to this, right? I want to give you a bulb on moment here. Not only your child, not only my child, for any child for that matter, every child during the first couple of years, at least till they are become about 6 or 7 years of age, they are all left-handed by nature. By default, they are all left-handed. Because till they are about 6 to 7 years, their right brain is dominantly working. I don't want to get into the scientific explanation of this concept now. I'm going to cover up in detail on my 4th day session, wherein I'll be elaborately dealing with left brain, right brain, all-round development, how we can give a whole brain development. I'll cover this in that day's topic. But for time being, go to Google and do your research. You'll be able to figure out. Most of the children, or every child for that matter, till they become 6 or 7 years, by default, they prefer to use a lot of left hand. In case if they continue to be a left-hander, your child is really blessed. You know what happens? They become multitaskers. Most of the highly successful people in this world, they're all left-handers. The other way of putting it is, the percentage of the highly successful people in this world compared to left and right, there are more people who are basically left-handers, including our Sachin Tendulkar, many presidents of India, and many presidents of America, and there are a lot of other people. Like, you know what, Sachin Tendulkar is basically left-hander, but his batting skills are right-handed. They become multitaskers. For example, I'm basically a right-hander. If there is a small injury to my right forefinger, I almost become crippled for a good, till that injury gets over, I'm almost crippled. But if the same injury happens to a person who is basically a left-hander in his left forefinger, he'll be able to manage most of his activities in right hand because he's become a multitasker. Saurav Ganguly is basically a right-hander, but his batting skills are left-handed. How many of you can relate to what I'm talking about? So these are the kind of activities what you need to give your child. Make sure that once in a while you give your children an activity which they'll be accomplishing in the non-dominant hand. And with this information in hand, I don't want you to think that, okay, I know about this secret, so let me convert my child to a left-hander. That should not be the agenda. All that I'm appealing to all of you is, you don't have to be a deciding person on which dominant hand your child is going to be using. Give the decision to your child. Wherever possible, encourage them to use both their hands, and they will decide by the time they're about 5 or 6 years, automatically they'll figure out what is their dominant hand. You don't have to intervene in deciding which is their dominant hand. Even today in my house, once in a while, at least once in a week, there is a rule in our family that all our day-to-day activities, we're going to engage only with using a left hand. And we'll end up having a lot of fun when we're doing it. So that is the reason why I'm giving you this activity. Please, you're going to have a family dinner tonight, all of you. And you're going to make an attempt of having your entire dinner only by using your left hand. You're going to have a lot of fun. I want you people to have fun. Your hand will be going all around and no cleanliness and all that. You're going to be messing up your dining table tonight. I know that for sure, but you have fun. And once in a while, you keep giving this kind of activities to your child. Okay, having said that, many of you might be complaining that I've already had dinner. What do you do? Nothing to worry. Tomorrow morning, you get up, right? What is the first thing you're going to do in the morning? Brushing your teeth, right? How about brushing your teeth only using your left hand? Tomorrow morning, when you and your child wake up, first thing, you go to the washroom and start brushing your teeth only using your left hand. So these are the 3 activities what I'm giving you. I'm announcing you rather in today's end of the session. So the activity number 1, I want all of you to come up with your emotional reason. Why you want to give this early child development to your children. The second is standing on your foot, rotating your right leg and drawing an imaginary 6 using your right hand. The third activity is having your dinner using your left hand. The fourth activity, tomorrow morning when you get up, you're brushing your teeth. How many of you are excited with these activities? Please type excited in the chat box. And the best part of the entire assignment is I want each one of you to share your feedback on how these activities went. If possible, try to capture your child and trying to accomplish this activity, a video of it and post it in the group, or at least share your feedback. And after the session gets over, I'll be giving you few more activities age relevant, starting from newborn babies up to even 6-8 years. Age-wise, I'll be giving you many activities. 0 to 3 months, 3 months to 6 months, 6 months to 1 year, 1 year to 2 years. So you can pick up all the activities or whichever the activities which you think are relevant to you. In addition to those activities, I want you to accomplish these 4 activities as well. Okay. On that note, I'm going to say good night to each one of you. It's time for me to leave, and I'm looking forward to meet you all for another 5 days. And don't miss tomorrow's session. My wife is going to be handling the session. Tomorrow's the day after. I'll be meeting you all on the day 4. Till then, Shubhratri. Good night to all of you. Happy parenting, and God bless you all. Take care. And if possible, try to give your feedback on today's session. I'll be sharing a separate link. Please try to share your feedback also using that link. Thank you.